Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, Chief Maloney Unity Run honors those who recently died in the line of duty. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
So many great options. What are you going to have?
I'm going to have an 8, a 27, a 9, and a 5.
Play Keno 603 today with drawings every 5 minutes. Your win time could be anytime.
On second thought, I'll just do an easy pick. And a Caesar salad.
Runners brave the rain to honor a man who embodied bravery.
This was started out of tragedy, but it has become a very positive thing.
Greenland Police Chief Michael Maloney was killed in the line of duty in 2012. Since his death, this race has brought people together and raised money in his name.
It just allows us to support the community projects, give scholarships, and of course, benefits for fallen officers in the line of duty.
It has the name Maloney, but it does go well beyond that. It is, for all of us, a way to pay homage to all the fallen officers.
This year, the event is also honoring Yarmouth Sergeant Sean Gannon and Somerset County Corporal Eugene Cole.
It really hits home. It really does. And you go through that and you reach out to the departments and the officers, you know exactly what they're going through. And as awful as it is, it's nice to be able to give some support to people and really be able to empathize.
Greenland officers were prepared to get called to Maine to assist in the days-long manhunt for the suspect in Corporal Cole's death, but he was apprehended before that had to happen. Chief Tara Laurent says Greenland will never forget what it meant to have law enforcement from across the region attend Chief Maloney's services. They plan to be a part of Corporal Cole's funeral next week.
It gives me chills every time we do. But it's so much better to be part of a procession than it is to be the ones at the end burying your own.
The Chief Maloney Memorial Fund has raised over $500,000 to date. Organizers say they have no plans of slowing down. Reporting in Greenland, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. DA, juvenile driver, kills pedestrian, injures 2 others. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB, Boston.
Belts off!
That's why I wear Skechers slip-on shoes. They're comfortable, and they come in a variety of styles. Slip on and off easily as well.
You're Tony Romo.
Yeah.
You still gotta lose the belt. Come on.
Slipping in comfort with Skechers slip-ons.
The horn of the Toyota SUV was stuck on as the wrecker towed it away tonight. Authorities say just before 5 p.m., the juvenile male driver struck and killed a woman who was on foot near the intersection of Spring and Emerald Street in Medford. Then, that driver kept on going.
I heard the engine rev as it got closer to the corner, and then that's when I heard the impact.
The Toyota SUV slammed into a couple walking their dog, Duke, then crashed into the side of Citizens Bank.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe the lady's, her leg was really bad. She was bleeding everywhere. The guy was bleeding, and to see the dog on the ground, it was crazy.
Angelica Diaz knows both that couple and the driver. She says the driver is a high school senior.
He's a A-B student in school, so it's shocking to hear it's him.
He wasn't really saying anything. He went back in the vehicle to try and get his cell phone, and he fell down. And
what happened to him?
I just told him to sit down. I said, you got to sit down and wait for the police.
And he did?
Yeah, he did. And then the police came and they took him away.
Tonight, as Angelica and her friends created a makeshift memorial, Medford's mayor issued this statement. My thoughts and prayers go out to all those involved in this tragic event. The driver is in custody at the Medford Police Department. At this time, it is an active investigation. And the DA's office is not releasing the names of the people involved or the charges that teenage driver is now facing.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Suspect in deputy's killing expected in court today. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8, Kathleen Jordan.
Is here, and right now at Richardson's Boatyard we have a huge selection, incredible prices, and great incentives. Pontoon boats, fishing boats, power boats, and more. Visit us online or stop by today to get the boat of your dreams and start creating lifelong memories.
Good morning to Christina and Joe. The feeling here is so much lighter than it has been in the past 3.5 days. Being in the town right now, you don't see state police, you don't see those game wardens, you don't see the FBI, police cruisers up and down these streets. Instead, it's getting back to a normal feel, but of course the mark of these past few days will have a lasting effect here. But again, we're learning more about the arrest itself. It happened just before 1 o'clock yesterday. These men and women have been working around the clock in a grueling, rough terrain, those woods. They told us yesterday they were searching in about 25 square miles. That ended near a campsite off of Route 139, as you guys mentioned, near the Fairfield-Norridge Walk line. That was close to Martin Stream Road, where they had been focusing much of their search in those days. They said they had evidence to track him down. They said it was methodical and slow because of that terrain and because of the weather they were dealing with. They are not saying whether Williams was armed, only saying that he gave, quote, limited resistance. We do know that 200 different law enforcement officers were out here, all from 28 agencies, and we're getting just an idea of how much work was put into this arrest.
Selfless determination and teamwork that was displayed during this case is unmatched. And while the most visible component of this case is done, the manhunt, for the Major Crimes Unit detectives, much of their work is just beginning.
Absolutely. So many people here thanking those agencies, but as you just heard, their part of this is really just starting to begin, and the part of grieving is just starting to begin as well. Officers say that Corporal Cole's handcuffs were actually used to arrest Williams, and the sheriff yesterday saying that is fitting. He also said while he's extremely relieved that Williams is in custody, he's extremely saddened by the death of his deputy. He said yesterday, throughout this entire process, he was thinking of Corporal Cole.
Had another officer been the victim of this case, we knew Gene would have been here every day bringing his best effort to apprehend the suspect. He would have been proud of our efforts.
And that is something that they now focus on for the community here, while the other part of this investigation is just beginning for those agencies, for the community here, and for law enforcement that worked with Cole. That is what they are focused on now. You can see this memorial here behind me over my shoulder, as many people, as they drive by, as they walk by, will continue to think of him.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. T-Mobile sells blockbuster merge deal with Sprint, creating a fierce competitor to AT&T and Verizon. Sprint and T-Mobile have sealed a blockbuster merge agreement, producing a telecom behemoth that values the combined company at $146 billion. The two carriers announced on Sunday. Caravan of migrants reaches U.S. border, temporarily turned away by border control. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Breaking news at the southern border of California. President Trump's tough immigration policy being put to the test at this hour. The caravan carrying Central American migrants seeking asylum nearing the end of its journey. The U.S. in sight, but still out of reach. Nearly 200 people, mostly women and children, expected to turn themselves over to customs agents claiming to have escaped life-threatening conditions at home. Supporters rallying on both sides of the San Diego border. You see it right there. President Trump ordering the Department of Homeland Security not to allow anyone from this caravan into the country. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez leads us off.
Tonight, the border showdown. Some protesters scaling the border fence, supporters cheering on as nearly 200 migrants defiantly approach the U.S. border seeking asylum, hoping this is the end of a grueling month-long journey from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala through Mexico, traveling by train, bus, and on foot, leading here to the San Diego border. In Tijuana and just feet away in California, celebrations and protests this weekend.
If they really wanted asylum, they would have claimed asylum in Mexico.
Greeting those hundreds of migrants, now here they say seeking asylum away from gang violence, LGBT persecution, and other dangers back home.
You see kids, you see mothers, you see men like me, we're fighting to, for a better future.
But President Trump has been warning for weeks that this caravan needs to be stopped.
Are you watching that mess that's going on right now with the caravan coming up?
Using their story to help push his border security goals. The president ordering the deployment of hundreds of National Guard troops along the U.S.-Mexican line. Tonight, at our country's busiest border crossing, these migrants now facing uncertain futures.
They are prepared for the possibility that they could be separated by immigration authorities.
And Marcy Gonzalez joins us live now. Marcy, you're hearing that officials on that border say they have reached capacity and won't be able to take in additional people for processing?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Officials say they won't let anyone else in until they get more space and resources. And those who will eventually be processed are being warned that they could be sent back. This, as officials say, some who were in that same caravan entered the U.S. illegally earlier this weekend. Tom?
Marcy Gonzalez for us tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast, and I'll have a news report in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.